Because it is apple season and we have these gorgeous apples that we got from Pennsylvania, plus another kind, I want to show you my two favorite dips to eat with apples. They're both super simple. Just a few ingredients for each one. They make eating your apples raw so tasty. Stick around. The first dip that I'm going to show you is the salted caramel dessert hummus. Yes, it's a hummus, and yes, it has garbanzos in it. It's really simple to make, and everybody at our church loves it. Everybody in our family loves it, and I think I love it the most because I eat a lot of apples with it. It gives you a protein punch from the garbanzos, and it's just a good way to balance out eating only fruit. You can eat it with other things, like with bread. I like to have it with toast. I like it with bananas. Apples are my favorite. A kind of a crunchy, tart, sweet apple works perfectly with this dip because it's a little bit sweet, but it's not sugary. No sugar. First thing we're going to do is we're going to get a can of garbanzo beans, chickpeas, garbanzos, whatever you like to call them. And what I like to do is I like to take the liquid and put it in a pan, and that's what I'm going to do. And okay, so these are going to go in my blender. Use a pretty high-powered blender. I happen to use the Vitamix. The next thing we want is dates, and if you get dates that are mushy and moist, then you don't have to do this first step. But we always have these dates that we buy in bulk. They end up being really hard. You can even see them too well. Okay, how about one? They come oat or rice flour covered, and they're really hard, hard. So you want to take those and soak them in hot water if you have that kind, because you want them to be able to blend. So you're going to take 3/4 of a cup of dates. I like to add them to my hot water. Here's my dates. And since my water is not hot, I'm turning it on, and I'm going to bring it to a boil. To usually get it to a boil, put a lid on, let it sit for 10 minutes or so, just to let the dates soften. And like I said, if your dates are like the medjool dates, which are like caramely, you don't have to do this step at all, just if they're hard. I don't worry about the salt in the garbanzos because I like that sweet, salty taste. It just does it for me, and I don't add any extra salt. If I'm just gonna use straight water, then I will add the salt. Okay, so what else you're gonna have is vanilla. And this kind I got from Yoder's. It's like triple concentrated. It says use 1/4 to 1/2 of what your recipe calls for. So yeah, vanilla. And then almond butter is going in your hummus. You could use the mixed nut butter, which I've used before, which I should say the mixed seed butter from Costco. I think this is also from Costco, almond butter. And so you don't want peanut butter. This would not work with peanut butter. So you're gonna add 1/4 cup of your nut butter. You're gonna add, I think it's a teaspoon to a tablespoon, I'll have to check the recipe, of vanilla. And then the only other thing you're gonna add besides the garbanzos and the dates is a little bit of stevia. Now I know you can get it in little bottles too, but I get stevia from Amazon in bulk, and the only the only kind I get now is one from CC Nature, because it's not bitter. It's very white, and I'm sure it's kind of refined. But I like to add a little bit more sweetness to because it's a dessert hummus and it balances out. You can skip the stevia altogether if you like. Stevia, dates, vanilla, and nut butter. Almond butter. And if it's thick and separated like this, it's just gonna blend, so don't worry about it. Okay, you just want to cook your dates until they've softened. You can drain some of the liquid off. You're gonna need some of the liquid to go in there to get it to blend. And this is where you're just gonna have to start eyeballing things, because depending on how moist your dates are, how thick your almond butter is, it's gonna determine how much water you need to put in there. Just reserve a little bit of water back in case you don't need to use it all. You don't want it to be runny. Okay, now all you have to do is blend. That's it. You're gonna blend it till smooth. It doesn't look like much, but it's awfully tasty.